What's up, everybody? It is 9 p.m. Eastern. As you can tell, I am in a vacant office. I'm not squatting. This is like literally my office. It just so happens that it is nighttime, and I wasn't making everybody stay late here, although Rachel's up late. She'll be hanging out over in the chat over there, guys. I'm psyched to have you on here. This is a record attendance for us between what's going on earlier and what's going on here at night. Super cool. I always give you guys a few minutes, especially at nighttime here, to get in. So as you're logging in here, guys, to the right-hand side, you're going to see a little chat box. Let me know that's working just by let me know where you're coming in from. Don't get offended if I don't know 100% who you are, because it only shows me your first name, okay? So chances are I know you, but I don't see your last name, okay? So just go ahead, log in over there, guys. What's going on, Sherry? What's going on, Michaela? I'm not trying to say that. Let me know where you're coming in from. We are going to just wait a couple minutes here, and then we will get going. This is going to be like a super packed, like information-packed type of training where, you know, a lot of times we do things that are very motivational, very, you know, whatever, they're fun. This is still going to be fun, I hope. But this is going to be extremely practical, okay? Like, get ready to take a lot of notes, okay? Cool to see all of you coming in right now. As I said, we'll just give it a couple of minutes right now. As you're logging in right now, by the way, here's what I want you to do. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something right here. Give me 1 second. By the way, guys, thanks for joining me so late at night. I do appreciate that. Rachel, let me know that this works. I just did the connect with Jared thing. Hopefully you guys have that. Here's what I want you guys to do. Now, this is kind of cool. I did this earlier, and I'm promising to do the same for you guys. Go to, let me see here. Did it work? Bam. Okay, now it should work, right? Did it open in a new tab? No? Yes? No? Whether it did or not, whatever. Do me a favor, guys. As we're waiting here for everybody to log on, go to connectwithjared.com. Rachel, put that in the chat if you could. Connectwithjared.com. You're already on it. Those are all the social platforms you can connect with me on: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, getting free training, free videos. Guys, if you're not following right now on Snapchat, it's not just for 12-year-old girls anymore and guys cheating on their wives or their spouses or whatever. Like, it's the platform. Within 18 months, it'll be the marketing platform. It's the truest story of what goes on in my day-to-day life. If you're on Snapchat, even if you're not, get on there, at Jared James Today. Go follow me on there. Here's what I want you guys to do. So if you go to connectwithjared.com, you can like the fan page. You can, for those of you that are on Facebook, you really can't friend me anymore. You're going to, on my personal profile, you have to go to follow. Follow me on Twitter at Jared James Today, Instagram at Jared James Today. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys, wherever you are right now, I want you to take a pic, almost like a selfie, of you watching this, and then I want you to send it to me in some way. Send it to me through Snapchat, snap it to me, on Instagram, tag me, post it on Facebook, tag me, our fan page, Twitter, one of these places, and I am promising that I am going to respond to every single person. Maybe selfie back, I'll say hello, maybe a short video, something like that. We did this earlier, it took me a while, but I will do it, okay? I wanna see who is actually watching this, okay? Like, who is late at night. Some of you, it's not as late because you're at other parts of the world. Earlier, we had people on from Africa, Australia, obviously Canada, US, Iraq, like just crazy places, okay? So hopefully we'll have that too. What's going on, Miami? What's up, Puerto Rico, Austin, Texas? Guys, we're gonna get started here in 1 minute, okay? I just wanna let everybody get a chance to get logged on here, and then literally get your notepad ready. This is gonna be like, you know, and I might even do for you guys what I did for the first one. I guess I'll mention it when I get started, which is gonna be a way for me to kind of get the notes to you. What's up, Jane? Hello from Houston. Eileen, what's happening? That'll give me a chance to get you guys the notes, because there is so much note taking that's going to be going on tonight that I'm going to try to make it a little bit easier for you by something that I'm going to do, okay? Let's give another 30 seconds. Look at that, Shelton, Connecticut. What's up, Ghana? Another Puerto Rico, Austin, Texas. I was just in Dallas, Texas. Maryland, New Jersey. Shirley, my girl, what's up, Shirley? So 30 seconds. We're going to get started, guys. Get ready. Please try to turn off all of your distractions, okay? Whatever it may be, whether you've got TV on, whether it's your phone, whether it's, you know, whatever it happens to be, unless you're taking a pic right now and tagging me or doing it and they're sending me a snap, following on Snap. My Snapchat's blowing up right now. Or Instagram's blowing up right now too. Unless you're doing that, let's just focus in, okay? So let me look here and let's get started. All right, guys, so first off, again, thank you so much. Excuse the dark office. It looks like you guys can see me fine though, but I didn't want to have all the lights on in the whole office. This will be, I feel like we should have some like jazz music on in the background and just kind of like make this like a cool late night. I even pictured like a cigar. I don't even smoke cigars. So go to Connect with Jared. For those of you that don't know me, as I said, we're going to be talking about, and I assume there's a lot of you on here that don't know me because this is like a record-setting crowd for this. Here's what I do. So I was in real estate. I was at one point named the #1 realtor in the country under the age of 30. I sold a ton of real estate, which is really what separates me from so many other people out there that do what I do for a living. I speak at a ton of conferences. You can just look at the chat on the side, different conferences I've spoken at. I see someone here. I just saw you at the Dallas convention. What's going on, Craig? And we have a coaching program. We coach thousands of realtors. We show them how to create more predictable businesses. I really have a belief that in this industry, we are an industry that goes to classes, hours and hours of classes, and really learns how to pass a test, but never really learns how to run a business. And I'm on a war against that. Like, I want to show you, because there are good people who are not succeeding on the level that they need to succeed. And when you talk about listings, whether you're an experienced agent, a new agent, wherever it is, this is the part that I see people mess up on the most. It's either the place that they have the least amount of confidence, or it's a place where they have confidence, but they're still just saying the wrong things. A listing presentation is so psychological, it's crazy. And we're gonna break down step by step today what the psychology is and what words to use to get around that. Because again, I've done this, guys. I've listed a ton of houses, and now I come from the perspective of somebody who works with people all over the world, all over North America, and I get I kind of get the best of the best and get to bring it to you, okay? Please budget about 60 to 90 minutes tonight. My presentation will probably go about 50, 60 minutes, but you're gonna wanna give me your full attention. And then I always stay on here as long as you guys wanna ask questions. As long as you wanna ask them, I'll answer them. It's really that simple, okay? So make sure we're doing that. I'm thinking about, you know what, I think I'm gonna do it again. So guys, I posted something on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/Jared James today, Rachel, post that down in there. Not my fan page, but if you go to my personal profile, you're not able to friend it anymore, but if we're not connected, up in the cover photo, you can hit follow. I posted something there about 22 minutes ago that says, here we go again, about 20 minutes for my second free training today, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I wanna do. I'm trying to figure out a place where I can post the notes, the major scripts and lines that I'm gonna use today that you guys are going to want. And I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll actually write them in the comments section of that status, but I need to know if a lot of you are on Facebook and that's something that you guys are actually going to be able to go to. So I need all of you right now to go to facebook.com/Jared James today, or just type in Jared James in your browser, in your Facebook browser. And if you want me to post a lot of the stuff that you're gonna be taking as notes today, the one-liners, the things you need to be doing in the comments of that, so you have it in one place, you can just copy and paste. I want you all to go and like that status right now. Because if I don't see it later that there's a lot of likes there, I'm gonna know that that isn't something or a place that you guys want it, and we'll have to figure something else out, but that seems to be the easiest place, okay? So just go and like the heck out of that. Give me a like. When I see at the end that they're there, later tonight or tomorrow morning, if that's the place, I'll post all the, and believe me, you're gonna want them. We did this earlier. I know what the feedback is from people as far as what they like about the things we're saying. You're gonna want it on there, okay? So I wanna be very clear too. As I said, this is gonna be extremely tangible, practical. I've got kind of a script that I'm staying to because I know where I wanna go, but I'll go as off script as you want me to go if it means that it's gonna help you. This is not the training that's gonna show you how to take unmotivated sellers and make them motivated, okay? Some people simply aren't the right people. Some people are not motivated, and there's this thing called cognitive dissonance, which basically says that no matter what reality is showing us in front of us, we still wanna believe something else. That's what a lot of us are dealing with, is that we wanna make unmotivated sellers motivated when they're simply not. Cognitive dissonance, okay? So that's not what this is today, okay? This is gonna be all about exactly what you say, how you say it, when you say it, strategies you follow, things you do to differentiate yourself in the listing presentation. So just take a crap load of notes because you're gonna need to. We're gonna try to record this. I know that question's gonna come up over and over again. We're going to try to record this. I just saw someone said, I can't friend you. I can't take friend requests anymore. Up in the cover photo, just hit follow. Then you'll be able to like the status, okay? So with that being said, we're going to cover a lot of the different parts of the process today. We're not just going to cover what you actually do when you're in the house, because the psychological process begins before you ever get there, okay? It begins on that first conversation that you're having with them over the phone, and we're going to talk about that today, okay? So let's get started. Before we even get into the process of being on the phone and then what you do when you're in the house and the presentation, it also has to be understood that you need to have within your business some kind of a tagline that separates you, something that makes people want to meet with you in the first place, something that makes you seem like you're not interchangeable, like there is a difference by working with you. You're somebody, think about it, different people are the people who get highlighted. You know, bands that get hired, celebrities that would, it's because they're so different. They're not like everyone else. That's what you need, some kind of a line. I had a line when I was selling real estate. And again, I'll post this as long as I see a lot of likes on that status later and I see that that's where you guys want me to post it. I had a line earlier when I sold that said something like, we follow a proven process that predictably gets our clients more money in less time than traditional realtors. That was kind of like what we said to people, okay? We follow a proven process that predictably gets our clients more money in less time than traditional realtors. And what that did was that separated us and made them think, well, these aren't traditional realtors like everyone else that I'm talking to. Now, if I'm going to say that, it better be true. And that's some of what we're going to talk about today is how do you become a non-traditional agent? How do you become something different that is an actual value to them? Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit fast today. If you're having any kind of connection issues or anything, just log off and log back in. That's your own personal internet connection where you are. It's just the way of the world with the internet. But as I said, if you're going to say that there's something different, that you're not a traditional realtor, that better be true, because our industry is changing and it's changing quickly. And I don't think most real estate pros actually understand how much it's changing. You know, Seth Godin said recently, and he talked about how in business right now, there's a race to the top and there's a race to the bottom. This is what's going on right now. Is there not a race to the bottom in our industry? Are there not people who are out there discounting fees? Saying, give me $500, I'll throw it on the MLS, and this is a race to the bottom. But then there's also a race to the top, and I think you know which one you want to be a part of. It's no different than what happened in the travel agency, the travel world, where the middlemen, the people who were interchangeable, were really eliminated, and then there were the bottom feeders, and then there were the people who delivered something different, who lasted because they had a race to the top. You know, Henry Ford was one of the first people who created a machine that made people more productive, right? He created a machine when they were building Fords and it made them 5-10 times more productive, and it was an awesome thing, and everybody kind of picked up on it and started following it. Now the issue with it though was that anyone could run that machine. People in essence had a cap on what they could make and what they could do, and it didn't really matter who was doing it because they were completely interchangeable because anyone could run that machine. That in essence is what is happening. It's a microcosm for what people's perception of our industry is right now, because they think that any agent can do what an agent does. Anyone can throw it on the MLS. Anybody can open a door for me. Anyone can, and they think this. In some cases, they're right. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is how to make sure that they're not right about you, because you had the foresight to get on a training with me in the evening and take your time and invest your time to be here. So let's make sure that you have an advantage by doing that, okay? The 3 phases I'm going to talk about today, if you guys are taking notes, and again, if there's enough likes on the status later, and that's where it looks like that you guys want me to post this later. If not, I'll figure something else out, but if it looks like that's where you guys want me to post this later, then I will post a lot of these notes that I'm going to talk to you about right now on there. But the 3 phases we're going to talk about, really we're talking 4, but really the 3 are going to be the initial call when you first start talking to a prospective seller, the walkthrough when you actually get to the house, and then the actual presentation, okay? We are not covering today how to create listing leads. We have a department that does that. They create leads for people, listing leads for people. If you want it, you can call our office. You can go on jaredjamestoday.com/real estate. You can schedule a free consultation. That is not what we're doing today. Today, we're talking about what you do when you're actually in front of that seller, okay? Now, before we get to these 3 phases, the initial call, the walkthrough, and the presentation, before you ever get to that, there's a couple things that you need to do first to be prepared, okay? The first thing you need to do is do a little research on the people you're going to meet with. We live in a world, it's 2016, where you have their cell phone, you have their email. If you're going to be meeting with them, you can look them up on Facebook, you can look them up on Twitter, Instagram, you can look them up on Snapchat, you can look them up on what's the other one there, LinkedIn. You know, if they're like a career person, you can see what's going on, you can see what they like, you can see what their hobbies are, you can see there's so much research you can do. You can see what their kids are up to, you can see what teams they like. We need to do this research because it allows us, if you go into the Facebook, for example, put in their cell phone or put in their email, they'll pop up. Okay, you can search by those things up in the search in Facebook. Learn all about them, see what they care about, see what teams they like, because it naturally builds trust when you meet with them because you know what to talk about. You know what their personality is like. Do that research beforehand. The other research that you need to do beforehand is the research on their neighborhood. It's one thing to say you're a local expert. It's a complete other thing to when you walk into their house and they say, oh, you know, so-and-so's house was sold for so-and-so, so mine should be at least able to get blah, blah, blah. It completely positions you as an expert when you're able to look back at them and say, yes, so-and-so over at 43 Main Street, though, added a new blah, blah, blah in the basement and finished it and put new carpeting in the whatever. They also put a new roof, and you know everything about every house around there, completely positions you as the person that they're like, oh, this is a true professional. And you're already starting right in the beginning just by doing your research and not just saying what the overall market's doing and stuff that, quite frankly, I can go, Siri, how much has the market gone up in this county in the last, like, when you can go beyond what they can get off their phone in 3 seconds, okay? You want to act like an appraiser and call the local, all the houses that have sold in the area, and call those agents, say, hey, what was the deal with it? What happened? Oh, there was a divorce situation? Okay, so this, act like an appraiser, get all the details so that you position yourself as an absolute expert, okay? Now, once we have that out of the way, let's talk about that initial call. When you get on the phone for the first time with them, you're on that initial call, you're scheduling, you're doing whatever it is, here's 5 things I want you to do. Number 1, I want you to listen to what they say on the phone and fuss over what matters to them, okay? If they love dogs, okay, you better be prepared to show a ton of affection to whatever animals run up to you when you walk into their house. Don't wear a black suit, but you need to know that that is part of what you're going to do because this is an emotional time for them and it's going to matter to them. If they tell you over the phone that, I know my neighbor's house sold for so-and-so, but you know, we built a bird bath in the back, so we're worth $20,000 more than they were, you know 2 things. You ready? Here's the 2 things you know with that statement. Number 1, you know that they are nuts. They are certifiably nuts, okay? The second thing that you know is that you have to make a big deal about the bird bath. Because in their heart of hearts, they know that it does not make it worth $20,000, but their grandfather built that thing, and it's this whole like emotional thing, and you need to make a big deal about that bird bath, okay? Second thing on the initial call we're gonna do, you wanna find out, and again, I'm assuming we have enough likes on that thing that that's where you guys want it. If not, we'll figure it out. So I'll post these for you. But you wanna find out over the phone a few different questions. Number 1, you wanna find out why they are moving, okay? Find out why they are moving. Find out what their time frame is, not only for when they wanna list, but also for when they want to sell by, okay? Not only for when they list, time frame, not only for when they list, but also for when they want to sell by. You also want to find out what happens if they don't sell by then, okay? What happens if you don't sell by then? You need to go there with them. By doing this, what you're doing, and you're going to see later why I've established this when we go through some other things, what you're doing is you're establishing future pressure points and motivating factors. That's what you're doing, okay? Talk to them about their plan B. What happens if you don't sell? What happens if we use this from a coaching perspective to motivate people by going to worst case scenario, by going to what are the negative factors, what are the negative things that are going to happen if you don't reach this goal? Not just what are the positives that you're going to do this and do that and whatever. You know, you're going to lose weight, you're going to look great, you're going to whatever. If you don't do it, you're going to die sooner, not see your grandkids grow up, not going to have as much energy, not going to be able to play with your kids, like you've got to go to the worst side of it because in their head, again, you're framing the conversation for them to believe, oh, that can happen, which is helping them to become more realistic as you go through the listing presentation. Some of the questions I got earlier were typical questions you get when you do a call like this. And I said to the person who asked the question, quite frankly, these are questions that they're going to ask you if you didn't do the presentation the way I said. But if you framed it correctly, these are ridiculous questions for them to ask. They're the types of questions that people ask when you've left a lot out, okay? When there's been an absence of value, when there's been, okay? So you wanna know, why are they moving? You wanna know what their time frame is, not only for when they wanna list, but also when they wanna sell. You wanna know what happens if they don't sell by then, okay? What are the future pressure points that we're gonna use as you see me go through this presentation, okay? Third thing, this is an obvious one, but it's most people don't understand how to do this, and we're gonna explain to you how to do it today. Obviously, you need to make sure that both decision makers will be present, okay? Now, most of you know that this is true, but you're not really sure how to have it done, and you feel like if you start asking if both people are going to be there, that somehow you are saying, I want to be able to close and I can't close if it's only you there, and you've got these kinds of things going on. So instead, what you're going to do and again, I'll post this later on my Facebook profile. You want to say something like this: Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my marketing plan is very detailed and cutting edge. It would be tough for anyone to explain it unless they followed it every day. That's why it's important that I have both of you there, okay? So blame it on your marketing plan. It's cutting edge, and nobody could explain this unless they did it every single day. Now they're excited about your marketing plan, and they both have to be there now. Why? Because we're going into close, and you're going to see how we do that as we go along here, okay? Number 4, something you've heard all the time again, but I'm going to teach you how to actually do it, okay? Over the phone, you need to make sure that not only do you go in last if possible, but you also need to make sure that you get them to promise that they won't list with someone else before they see you first. And this is going to be very easy to do. I'm going to cover a script here, and I'm going to post it. We're going to figure out a way to get this so you guys aren't writing like crazy. Someone sent me a Snapchat earlier, and they like showed me their hand and said that it was all like decrepit or something because they, were writing so many notes. So you want to make sure you go in last, and you also want to make sure that you get a promise from them they won't list with someone else without talking to you first. Why? Because we all know you want to go last, but one of the downsides of going last is that many people have been taught this tactic, and they know that if they get in before you, all they're going to do is lower their commission in order to get the person to sign on the spot and never actually see you. That is how they're going to try to swindle and get around. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what you say, and then I'm going to show you just how layered this is psychologically, okay? You are going to say something to them like this. Mr. or Mrs. Seller, some salespeople are trained to be slick and offer to drop their commission if you sign on the spot while they're there because they know that they don't market your property the way I do. So rather than add more value, they just rely on old tactics of getting the listing at any cost and just drop their price to try and make that happen. I'm sure you agree that's not the type of negotiator you want representing you anyway. And you're doing this when you're doing it. And when you're doing this, they're doing this, okay? And by you got to practice this over and over and over and over. This is why coaching is so valuable, because you're just practicing this stuff and you're really becoming a pro. Now, I'm not asking that you guarantee that you will list with me, but will you at least promise me that you won't sign any contracts with anyone else before I show you what I do different? And you're going like this, and they're going, yeah, absolutely, no problem. You're going, thanks. 99.999% of people are going to make that promise to you because they have no intention of signing with someone sooner. In fact, at this point, they're not even planning on signing with you on the spot. They're going to talk to 3 or 4 people and think about it. Now, we're going to learn how to frame this so that doesn't happen. But that is the line you use. Let's talk about how layered this was. What we did was that we really planted the seed that these other salespeople are slick, which is what people think about salespeople anyway, right? They're going to try to use some slick salesperson thing where they offer to lower their commission just to get you to act without seeing what I do, because they don't want you to see what I do, and you're going to do this. What you're also doing is that you referred to others, not to you, and you created an us versus them mentality, right? Like what they try to do, but what we're doing over here. And so it makes it already like you're on the same team. I'm not one of them, okay? Like we're on the same team here. Let's come into agreement. We're on the same team, which is what we did. We just made an agreement, which psychologically makes them feel more bonded to you right off the bat, okay? What we also did was we gave to get, right? Look, I am not making you promise you're going to list with me. All I'm asking is that you wait to see what I have to say before you list with, before you make a decision, okay? You gave to get. We just made another transaction. We just made another deal. Do you see how comfortable we're starting to get in a relationship? Like we're doing all of these things that form bonds. This is almost like, what was that movie, Hitch, with Will Smith, where he knew all the factors to make a woman like a man, and he would like work with guys and make that woman like that man, and he would whatever, because he knew all the factors that made it happen. I am your Hitch right now, okay? This is what makes I'm Hitch without the blown up lips. When, remember, he had that bad scene, whatever. If you haven't seen the movie, just ignore the last 10 seconds of your life when I just talked about that, okay? You're also creating the secret of what you offer and making it sound like the other side doesn't want them to see what you do because it's so much better than what everybody else does. Like, they don't want you to see what I do because they can't, now they're so excited to see what you do, we've got to come and see what you do last, okay? So that's why we do that, okay? The fifth thing we do, and lastly, when we are on the phone, do not, I repeat, do not get off the phone until you've given them an assignment. Okay, let me explain what I mean by that. Tell them at the end of the conversation that you'll be following up with an email right away as soon as you get back to the office. That builds rapport as well when you say you're going to do something and then you do it. That you need them to pay attention to and send you back what you need in order for you to do your job right, okay? Then when you get back to the office, send them an email, preferably a video email. So much more effective, right? Do this right here. Talk to them. So great meeting with you guys today. Your house is better than I thought it was going to be. Let them see you. Use video. Use BombBomb, okay? Rachel, if you want to put the link up, there you go. BombBomb.com/Jared James. Incredible tool to be using video through email. So use a video email the moment you get back that thanks them and that now has the things that you told them that you were going to need from them. And here are the things that you are going to request from them in this email. Here is how you are going to put them to work. You are going to put in that email, on top of saying, can't wait to meet with you, confirm the time that you're meeting with them, you know, blah, 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 the whole thing. You are going to ask, you're going to include in that email a few different amazing video testimonials from your past people. If you don't have video testimonials right now, then just use written ones, but start making the point to get video ones, okay? Why? Because these testimonials frame you. They frame the way that people look at you. Just like I get in front of an audience, and before I get up and speak, whether it's in front of 100 people or 10,000 people, they read a bio first. It's because they're framing me. They're framing people's outlook on me before I ever get on the stage, okay? And generally, that bio makes me look good, and that's what we want this to do. It builds trust. It builds rapport. Then you're going to ask them for these three things that you need them to do. Number one, you're going to ask them to send you the top 3 best selling points of their house as they see it. What do you think the top 3 best selling points are? Number 2, you're going to ask them to send you the top 3 potential obstacles for buyers, okay? So you're going to have the top 3 best selling points from them. What do they think the top 3 potential obstacles are for buyers? And then you're going to ask them who they think the ideal buyer is, okay? Now, why are we doing this? The answers from the seller are going to tell you everything you need to know about that seller. They're going to tell you who you're dealing with. They're going to tell you what type of seller you're dealing with. But more importantly, what you just did subconsciously by putting them to work is that you took control over the transaction, okay? When you put someone to work, it not only asserts your control, it also builds your trust because you're working on something together, just like we did before. Now we're working together again. Isn't it amazing when you work with people, how you start to trust them, you start to like them, you start to, all of that stuff is part of sales. Likability is huge, okay? But you're asserting your control over this transaction as the professional. These little things matter. Have you ever lost a transaction or a listing and they're not even sure why they went with the other person? It was so close between you and them, but we just decided we're a little more comfortable with this person. We don't really know why. Do you get to stand on like the second place podium and collect your medal? In real estate, you make 0 when you are second place. Absolutely nilch, nothing. All of these little psychological factors, okay? Go back to what I said before. You know, Will Smith, like this is the stuff that makes them feel comfortable with you before we even get into our marketing plan and what we're going to do different and all of that kind of stuff, okay? Now, let's talk about what happens when you actually get there for the listing appointment. Okay, let's talk about you show up for the listing appointment, you're getting ready for the walkthrough. What do you need to do? Number 1, right off the bat, very simple. You need to get in the right state of mind. Non-negotiable. There are thousands of dollars at risk with this listing appointment here. It is not okay for your state of mind to be controlled by the weather, to be controlled by what song you had on, and it was just kind of depressing. It's not okay for it to be none of that. You can. I don't care if you have to get in front of your rearview mirror on your car and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Whatever you have to do to get yourself in the right state of mind, put the right music on, smack your face around a little bit. Rachel, what was I doing right before this call, right? I put on like upbeat music. I was like, I need to wake up. This coffee isn't doing it. I'm tired. I've been up since really early in the morning. Let's go, okay? And I had to change my state. Show up with the right state of mind, ready to close them. Go in there with the mindset of a winner, ready to close. Otherwise, it's a waste of your time, and it's your own fault. Second thing, get there early. This whole thing where I'm just a late person, and somehow you're able to be 10 minutes late everywhere you go, tells me you're able to be on time, but you think it's okay to be late, okay? I don't care if the seller themselves is a late person. It's different when you're late, when you're technically working for them, okay? Do not leave your office or wherever you're going in time to get there in time. Because if you leave in enough time to get there in time, best case scenario, you're gonna be on time. Worst case scenario, you're gonna be late if something comes up. Leave to be there really early, 15, 20, 25 minutes early. Best case scenario, you're really early. Worst case scenario, you're on time. Being late is not an option when you're showing up trying to sell someone's house and make thousands and thousands of dollars. Non-negotiable. All that trust that you built, all of that rapport, all that psychological is all gone just by showing up late. Not worth it, okay? Third thing, when you walk in the house, you can do all your stuff you do, you know, go in, pet the dog, you know, say hello to the kids, talk in a high-pitched voice to the kids and make them feel good and do all the things you do. But at some point, you got to stop and you got to go, perfect. So who's going to show me around this beautiful home? When you say that line, which seems so simple and stupid, there's a point to it. When you say, perfect, so who's going to show me around this beautiful home? What's going to happen is one of the two, if you're dealing with a couple, is going to jump forward and say, I'll show you around. What you just did was you just found the decision maker. You just found the person who you need to be focused on for the rest of that meeting, okay? Because the decision maker is going to step forward. Perfect, so who's gonna show me around this beautiful home? Use that line and then look to see who pokes their head up, who's the decision maker, okay? Now, when walking around the house, this is number 4, remember, it's emotional for them, okay? When you see those little lines on the doors and the whatever measuring their kids, it matters to them. It may not matter to the value of that property, but it matters to them. Do not walk around their house like you're some kind of general contractor trying to figure out if you can do the roof or not, okay? It is important that you remember that this is an emotional decision for them, and you need to, this is their home. This is where they raise their kids. This is where, whatever it may be, remember those top 3 best selling points? This is when you need to remember those, and this is when you need to focus on those. Whether they add value or not, the fact that they thought they were selling points, this is an emotional thing. You need to spew over them and just, oh my God, that's gorgeous. And oh, wow, did you do that? Did you whatever? They are going to love that. Eat it up. By the way, remember those top 3 potential obstacles for buyers? You are not going to spew over those. Do not spend a lot of time on those at all. Don't even make too much mention of them, because it's not going to make any difference. They're there. If they're there, if they're there, you're just going to hurt your chances by doing that. That's why we were asking what those things are, right? We want to know, what should we not be talking about? It's kind of a sore spot for them. And what should we be talking about? Because it absolutely matters to them. Number 5, don't be so robotic and tell them about about what in their house takes away and adds value, okay? Don't be robotic walking around and telling them what you think takes away and adds value. I want you to remember something. You do not create value, okay? The value is determined by the market. And when you assign, I want you guys to get this, please pay attention to this, with the good and the bad. When you assign your opinion to value, even when it's good, oh my God, if you did this, this would add so much value and blah, 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 blah. If it turns out they don't get the price you said when you told them that was what was going to happen because that adds value, they're going to go back and blame who? You. When you come in and you go, oh my God, you know, that's just not good for the house. That's not anything to have in there. That's going to hurt value. We need to change that. You know, in my opinion, that's whatever. in my opinion, is the worst thing you can ever say, because now they are assigning the negative side of their home to who? To you, to your opinion, to your hurting their value. This is your new best friend as a person, as a real estate pro in the real estate industry. Research tells us that that's what you want to do. You know what? I love what you've done here with the green polka dots in your kid's room. I can completely see how, like, she must absolutely love this, or he must absolutely love this. Must have made for a paradise for a child. Research tells us, though, that we're probably going to get a little bit more if we were to use a more neutral tone, that more people are going to like, or, you know, are going to be drawn into, or going to be whatever. Research tells us it's never your opinion. You don't ever want to try to have, or to try to assign your opinion to things that are completely outside of your control, like value of a property. That is determined by the overall market, okay? So let's talk about now the sit down / presentation, okay? You've walked through the house, you've taken a lot of notes, they can see how detailed you are. You've really accentuated the things you know are important to them because they're 3 best selling points. You've really like downplayed the things that were kind of a sore subject for them, whatever. You've walked around. Now it's time to sit down at that table. It is closing time, okay? It's not sales time anymore. Salespeople offer something up to somebody. They go, here, by the way, when do you think you're making a decision by? Please don't reject me on the spot. That's a salesperson. It is closing time, okay? So you're gonna sit down. And I want you to understand, when I go over this right now, the actual sit down portion of the presentation, there's some things that there are some things that I'm not going to cover right now because they are specific to your specific market, okay? There's waterfront, there's that. What I am going to cover right now are things that apply to every single person that's watching right now, okay? Because, and if you need to add in with your specific area, some specific things, then add them into what I'm talking about. But these are things that go in every single presentation, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of market you are, no matter anything, these are what go in there, okay? There are 3 things that matter to every single seller, okay? The 3 things that matter to every single seller is how much their house is worth, what are you gonna do differently to sell it, and how much are you gonna charge me, right? How much is my house worth? What are you going to do differently to sell it? And how much are you going to charge me to do it? These are the things that matter to the average seller in every situation. So we're going to address these as we go throughout in the proper order that we need to, okay? Now, I want you to understand also, I recommend right up front when you sit down, going over what the market overall, based on what you've seen, based on comps, based on all these things, what the actual price of that property is, okay? I recommend doing it right in the beginning and not making a big deal about it, because we want it to be a secondary factor to everything else that we're about to go over, that you actually have control over. And market value is not something that you have control over. You have control over a lot of other things, and that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to spend the majority of our time talking about with them. I want you to remember as well, you're not talking them into buying anything. You're in the house because they already want to sell. The only question is, who are they going to use? You have got to have the belief in yourself, the confidence in yourself to close them. Otherwise, quite frankly, they probably shouldn't be using you, okay? Because they're going to use somebody. You need the confidence in yourself and your process, and I hope some of the stuff I'm about to go over is going to give you that confidence, okay? So, number 1, when you sit down with people, I've talked about this many times. I know we have a lot of students on here right now. I want you to understand that when you're dealing with a seller, people choose you because of process, not because of price, okay? If you are making an argument to them based on price, based on commission, based on any of these things, anyone can beat you. Any loser agent who doesn't even belong having their license, if you come in and say, I'll do 5%, can go, I'll do 4.5. Your house is worth $335, oh, it's worth $345. If you are basing it based on numbers, any loser agent can come in and beat you because they can always go for a lower number on the commission and a higher number on the price of that home. Remember, race to the bottom, right? That's not what we're doing here. What we want to focus on is focus on the things that we actually have control over. We don't control the price, okay? The market determines that. We control the marketing. We control the process, the system we implement to save them time, to make them money, to alleviate stress. We control those things. So that is what we are going to focus on. And by the way, if you think that past sales are indicative of what a value is in a marketplace, solely, then you're probably not the best agent for them anyway. Because there are a lot of things that go into past sales, including foreclosures, short sales, estate sales, divorce situations, varying levels of updating, on and on. You're not competing on price. You're competing on process. And I need you to mentally understand that. And I need you to get the idea that I'm not one of these guys talking to you who doesn't know what I'm talking about. I probably sold more houses than every single person that's watching me right now, okay? I know what I'm talking about. I know that the way you've been doing it right now, you've had to go to price, but that's because you're not following all of these steps that we've outlined up until now and that we're about to do right now, okay? I see a lot of you saying that this is so much information, like, are you gonna be able to watch this later? As long as the technology works, guys, we'll send out a replay at some point, okay? And again, I'm gonna try to post the notes. If you go to my Facebook profile, facebook.com/Jared James Today, just like the status that I wrote about to go live in 22 minutes, whatever it is. And I'll try to post some of the notes there. We'll figure something out, okay? Okay. I just got a question, by the way, from somebody. They said, Jared, I get that we're competing on price, but what if we get a seller that just can't get past that and believes that the price will be what it is regardless of the agent? What do you focus on then? Isn't that real world, guys? Don't you have some people that just do that? Absolutely. So when that happens, there's a couple answers to that. Number one, you focus on the time on the market, okay? The longer they're there, the more time they pay the mortgage, and they're not getting towards their new life in their new home, wherever it is they're trying to do, and they're paying a mortgage that ultimately means they're getting a lesser price. Because if they're there 6 months longer, paying $3,000 a month, they lost $18,000 on their price. But I want to go back to what I said before, okay? If the argument is, well, if the price is going to be the same for everyone, then what does it matter who I use? That's like saying, why should I get a Mercedes when I can get a Pinto? They both get me from point A to point B. It's not true, okay? What you do matters. The way you market the property matters, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Days on the market matter. Stress level during a time. Isn't it true that any shoes I buy are going to do the same thing for me? They're going to help me walk and not step on nails and whatever, but don't some of them provide a different level of service, a different level of comfort? Isn't it true I can get a cheaper watch than this and they're just going to tell the time, and yet I buy a watch that probably costs more than the average watch? So people are making decisions all the time based on this principle that I'm talking about with you right now. The only time that price becomes the only factor is when there appears to be an absence of value, okay? When it appears that everybody's interchangeable and everybody's doing the same thing. And in most cases, for most agents, they are doing the same thing, which is why there's no real value to working with you or someone else. But let's talk about how we can change that, okay? So first question you're gonna ask when you sit down, okay, is, and I see the question, by the way, that I go for price or value yet? Nope, and I'll tell you when I go over that, okay? You're gonna see in the presentation when I go over that, okay? So the first question you're gonna ask when you sit down, and remember guys, all of this is a building block. All of this I'm doing intentionally. I'm following these steps on purpose. They're a cycle. I know what I'm doing. We work with thousands of people, like we coach thousands of people. Like, we know what we're doing here. Follow this pattern, okay? So the first question I'm gonna ask them when I sit down with them, I'm gonna say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, on a scale of 1 to 10, what has to happen today for this meeting to be a 10 for both of you and convinces you guys that I'm the professional to market and sell your house for you, okay? Now, when I just asked that question, what am I doing? Again, I'm framing the conversation, and I'm getting them to go from, well, we're gonna interview a few people and then we'll think about it and make a decision, to I'm now putting it on the table that if I do this, this, and this that you tell me needs to happen for this meeting to be a 10, the expectation is that you are going to sign with me today. I just completely changed expectation by asking that question. Why? Because they answered the question, right? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, on a scale of 1 to 10, what has to happen today for this meeting to be a 10 for the both of you and convince you guys that I'm the professional to market and sell your house for you? Well, Jared, we would need this, that, but. I know where to focus now, okay? And if I meet these, you just basically told me that this means that I'm the guy, okay? And by me doing this, I've now put it on the table that that's an option today, whereas maybe it wasn't 10 seconds ago, okay? And so it's almost like I was with my son recently, and I asked him to do something that was just a normal thing. Like, look, Dan, this is what you need to do. Like, do this in your room, whatever. And he goes to me, so if I do that, would you buy me Subway today? And I literally went like, what are you talking about when I buy you Subway? Like, that's just a normal thing you do. Like, that wasn't even on the table. Like, that wasn't even an option. Like, what are you talking about while I buy you Subway? Where was I 60 minutes later buying this kid a meatball sub? Because by him asking the question, it was now on the table. It was like that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Inception, planted the thought in my brain, okay? You want to plant the thought in their brain. On a scale of 1 to 10, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what has happened for this mean to be a 10? If you know that I'm the plant the thought, Inception style, okay? Crazy stuff. What this also done, I won't even go into that now. The next thing we want to do is we want to come in with research on who their ideal buyer is already, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into right now how to on Facebook and such, how to specifically target, but you can on Facebook and Instagram, you can specifically target a specific type of buyer in an age group, a demographic that's actually looking to buy in a radius of however large you want to make it. And it will tell you how many people are looking for homes that you can target in this area, 21,000, whatever it happens to be. The point of today is not for me to show you how to do that. If you're not sure how to do that, go to jaredjamestoday.com/real estate and watch the videos there. We use those videos to get people to sign up for our marketing department that does it for you. But if you want to just go watch them and see how it's done, I did another one. If you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/jaredjamestoday, there's a free webinar called How to Create Leads on Facebook and Instagram, where I walk you through step by step exactly how to do what it is I'm talking about now. So take the time to go watch this so you can use this line because it's so important, okay? And you're going to do the research beforehand. Remember, in your initial email, you ask them who's the ideal buyer. So you know who they think the ideal buyer is. So now you're going to go search that person out, pick a 3 or a 4 city, radius, or whatever it happens to be in your area, and then you're going to say, when you're going to come with it, you're going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, there are approximately 21,000 potential buyers that match the exact profile of the type of person that would buy this house and be happy for many years. I've already prepared for you what the coming soon or just listed ad. You can actually have it there and have them see it and see what it looks like and whatever. I've already prepared for you what the coming soon or just listed ad will look like, and my marketing team is ready. By the way, my marketing team could be my wife. My marketing team could be me when I go back. My marketing team could be the lady at the front desk who helps out all the agents. But my marketing team is ready. The ad will look like, and my marketing team is ready to go the moment you make the right decision, planting the seed, to list with me to put your property in front of them right away. Like the moment you say yes, this is going to show up in front of those 21,000 people that you told me were the ideal buyers. That has nothing to do with the MLS or what everybody else does. It's going to show up in front of them regardless. Pretty cool stuff. Now, when you do this, you're leveraging 2 things, because I know this is a lot of info right now, okay? Again, we're going to try to make this available for you, okay? You're leveraging 2 things. This is essentially what coaching is, just so you all know. This is the kind of stuff we do. You're leveraging 2 things. Number 1 thing you're leveraging is you're leveraging guilt. I'm not going to lie, you're leveraging guilt because they see all this work that you've done. Everybody else is telling them what they're going to do once they sign with them. It's always the work they're going to do. Just you wait till you sign with me. I'm going to do this. You're actually showing them now, and you've already put in the work. So there's a little bit of guilt on their end. They're like, shoot, like he's already done all this work. She's already done all this work. For some reason, I feel like we should go with this person. The other thing that you're leveraging is something called loss aversion. And loss aversion is a psychological factor that makes people move forward, that basically says that people don't only make decisions about what they are or aren't going to do, they don't like to lose what they feel like they already have. So when you show them that ad and you say, the moment you make the right decision to go with me, my marketing team is going to hit submit. It's just going to show up in front of 21,000 of your ideal buyers right away. They're like, shoot, if I don't go with you, I don't have that anymore. Like no one else even knows how to do that, okay? It's powerful. My wife does this all the time. My wife doesn't just say to me, hey, Jared, you want to go on vacation or you want to whatever? My wife, I come home, she sits me down, nice dinner, she lays it all out, and she goes, hey, hon, I just want to talk to you about something. That's how I always know I'm in trouble. I was doing some research today. Then she lays out a full agenda of where she wants to go and the experiences the children are going to have and how it's going to be so memorable. And oh my God, she practically has a tear in her eye. So do you think we can do it? And now it's not a matter of me saying yes or no to a vacation. It's a matter of, do I want to rip that experience away from my children? Like, that's what's going on right now. It's loss aversion. She doesn't even know she's doing it. It works. Psychologically, this is what you need to be doing. You need to be using loss aversion, okay? Next up, number 4. Explain to them what you do differently with your open houses. A lot of you have this belief that your open houses don't work. But the truth is, your open houses didn't stop working. It's that the Sunday papers you continue to advertise them in, nobody looks at anymore, okay? But open houses are extremely, who doesn't want to get into a house before they buy it? You don't buy furniture without going and looking at it. And yet, a house is 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 times more expensive than that furniture, and you think people aren't coming through, but they're not seeing it. You got to show them, again, how you use Facebook and Instagram. You can go watch those videos of exactly how you target. You want to talk about how you do circle prospecting and how as soon as you get their listing, you've got to have the cheese to catch the mice. And now nobody sells a neighborhood like a neighborhood. We love nosy neighbors. A lot of them know people that want to get into this neighborhood. I'm going to go knock on the door and show them exactly what's going on and invite them personally to the open house. Show them some of the old school stuff you're going to do. They'll like it, especially when you're talking a lot of new school stuff, okay? Next thing you're going to do. I know this is a lot of notes, guys, okay? Next thing you're going to do. By the way, I see people saying, what was number 3? Pretty simple, guys. The first one wasn't actually a thing you're doing. It was just to understand that people make a decision based on process, not on price, okay? The second one was start off by asking on a scale of 1 to 10 what needs to happen. That was number. The third one was come in with research on their ideal buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Here's the 21,000 people that this ad's going to show up in front of. The fourth one now is explain to them what you do differently with your open houses. And the fifth one is you are going to go to GoDaddy.com or wherever you want. You're going to buy their domain. Okay, 123mainstreet.com, whichever one's available. Main Street, STREET, whatever it happens to be, okay? I just saw somebody's comment. Rachel, it just threw me off. I just saw somebody's comment. God, this guy makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. It's freaking Kung Fu Ninja. That just cracked me up, whoever you are. That's the point, guys. It's all psychological, okay? That's freaking hilarious. So go to GoDaddy.com and buy their domain. Like, you are literally going to own their house, own their domain. This is like the moment Jeb Bush's campaign was over. It was the moment that Donald Trump bought JebBush.com. It was over. Like, he owned him now, okay? People live on the internet. So you're going to go buy their domain. You're then going to go to a thing, and go ahead and put this up, Rachel, www.listingstoleads.com/Jared James. You can get a free month. After that, it's like $29 a month. Listingstoleads.com/Jared James. They're a company that not only does all sorts of other landing pages and other stuff, virtual tours, whatever, but they have a single property website tool that you can use that you can connect to a domain you bought. So you can actually walk into their house in your listing presentation, have them pull up their phone, pull up their computer, and show them you own the domain. Here's your house. Right now, there's only an outside picture because I haven't listed it yet, but I'm going to get inside. I'm going to get virtual. This is where we're going to drive all our traffic to, create leads, create whatever. This is the link you can send to your friends. This is the link you can send to your family. This is the link you can share on all your social stuff. This is the link you can share at work. We are going to own your domain. I, by the way, already own it, okay? That is powerful. So go ahead and go with Joe Schmo. I own your domain. Done. Game over. Okay, but you've got to learn how to do that again, okay? So buy the domain on GoDaddy or something like that. I understand, though, that for those of you that aren't in our coaching programs, some of this stuff is difficult. You're not 100% sure how to do it. You might want to think about joining so we can walk you through how to do it, okay? But this is powerful stuff that's going to make you a lot of money, okay? Next up, please do not use those terrible syndication list pages in your presentations. The one that your broker gives you that shows you the 103 different sites that the property is going to go out to, you know, and be syndicated to, and you don't know what 101 of them are, okay? All you're doing is telling them that you're not going to do anything to market their property, that everybody does the exact same thing, and nobody even knows who these sites are. They've never even been on these sites before, okay? So what you're going to do, here's a script you're going to use. And again, I will try to make this available, okay? to overcome the fact that other people are showing them 103 different sites that their property is going to show up on, you're going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, some realtors still use these, meaning these list syndication, pages in their CMAs, their market analysis. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, some realtors still use these, which just shows that they're more interested in impressing you with useless info than they are with actually putting the marketing dollars towards places that actually work. Research shows us that there are X number of top sites in your area, 3, 4, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, the web, IDX, whatever. Research shows us there are X number of top sites that we should be targeting. Remember, we don't price houses. The market does that. But we do position them in the best places to attract the highest bidders in the shortest amount of time. Does that make sense? And they're like, shoot it, that sure does make sense. Absolutely, okay? I had this similar experience when I was trying to sell my last car. And I was sad to do it. I'm still sad about it. It was in amazing shape. I probably sold it for less than I could have. It was priced extremely well, though. I put it out in these places, and for weeks I had nothing. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? This car is of value. I was about to lower the price because I had no action. Ran into a friend, and he goes, do you have it on this site? And I said, no, why? He goes, that's where you have to do it. That's where everybody goes. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I threw $150 at that site. Then one day I had 4 calls, and the first guy that showed up paid me on the spot for my car. It's about being and positioning in the right place, okay? It's not about what the value is, because I was about to lower it even though the value was completely there for the car. You need the person that's going to position you the best in the right places, not try to fool you with 103 different websites so you feel like they're kind of like, don't pay attention to my left hand, what's going on over here? They're like a magician, okay? You can't allow that to happen. Next thing you're going to do, guys, I want you to actually show them, and there's a point behind this, show them your postcards, letters, the letters we use in our coaching programs, the campaigns that we use, the marketing materials. Talk to them about the door knocking you're going to do in the area. Talk to them about these things. You know why? Why I'm doing this? Because you've done so much new school stuff. Sometimes it's going to pull them back and make them feel comfortable about you when you start going over old school stuff. They're going to be like, oh, you're not a robot. Like, you still do this kind of stuff. You're just leveraging the new as well. So make it a point, even if you don't do a ton of that stuff, just talk about it, because it's going to make them, they're not even sure why. They're just going to be like, oh, I feel comfortable again. Like, I feel like I'm having grandma's oatmeal again. Like, I'm back. I don't know what that example means, but I think you guys get the point, okay? It's going to make them feel good. Also, this is the next point. If you have a team, this is where you talk about it. This is where you outline what their roles are. You create expectations. You get them excited about having specialized people that just do marketing, just answer the phones, just show your property. If you don't have a team, obviously you don't talk about this, but this is where you do if you have a team. If not, you don't even bring it up, okay? Until you do. Now let's talk about the close. Pay attention here. This is when you close, and here's what you're going to do. And by the way, guys, I haven't talked about percentages yet. I haven't talked about commissions yet, okay? And so we're going to talk about this, okay? So you're going to go, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when I first talked to you, you mentioned X, Y, Z that needed to happen to you for you to feel like this meeting was a 10. Remember those things they mentioned that had to be checked off for this meeting to be a 10? You mentioned X, Y, Z, say what they are, that needed to happen for you to feel like this meeting was a 10. And remember, guys, I'm going to put these notes somewhere for you too. And give you the confidence to make the right decision to hire me to market and sell your home. Is there anything that you feel that I left out so far that you need addressed, or do you feel like I've addressed the areas that matter most to you? Let them talk. In almost every situation, they're going to be like, no, you got it. Like, and now in their head, they're going, I made an agreement. I told them that if they hit these areas, then the idea or the expectation is that I'm going to sign up with them, okay? Or they might come back and go, well, what about blah, blah, blah. Now you know what you need to address, but you're still going to be closing. In most cases, though, they're going to be like, no, that makes sense. You market this way, you do this way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect. Well, I know from our first conversation that you want to be out of your house in the next however many days or months. So is there anything else that's keeping you from making the right decision and hiring me to start marketing your home to get it sold so you can now insert the pressure point, so you can get closer to your grandkids, so you can downside and stop having this large mortgage, so you can get to a warmer place so that your joints aren't acting up and whatever. This is when you insert the pressure point. Perfect. Well, I know from our first conversation that you want to be out of your house in the next, insert. So is there anything else that is keeping you from making the right decision and hiring me to start marketing your home to get it sold so you can get closer to your grandkids and start living the life that you want to live down in Florida or whatever it happens to be, okay? At this point, don't even talk about commissions yet. Many people, and I know you think it's crazy, but we have some of the top students in North America who never mention commissions yet, and the first time they mention it, is when they're actually filling out the agreement. And they just fill it in and they go over it like anything else. That's what you're going to do. And some people it's going to work with, some it's not. So I'm going to cover that, okay? So you're going to say, if they say, yeah, that makes sense, you know, blah, blah, whatever. Now you're going to pull out the agreement. You're going to write in the agreement whatever you charge, 6%, 7%, whatever it happens to be, and you're going to cover it just like any other part. This is what I charge, on to the next. Do not make a big deal. If you make a big deal, they think it's a big deal. That's why a lot of them think it's a big deal. Most of them are going to be like, all right, that's what it is. That's what a Mercedes costs. Let's go. I see the value in this, whatever. For those that don't, and they say things like, you know, I really want to move forward with you, but so-and-so was willing to do it for X percentage, because you know that that's what they say. Here's how you're going to answer. And by the way, this is why coaching is so important and why you need to practice, and you need to say this confidently. Because you're going to say to them confidently when they say, you know, I really want to move forward with you, but so-and-so was willing to do it for X percentage. You're going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm just not so-and-so, whatever their name is. With me, you are getting XYZ marketing. Cover your marketing again, which costs me a lot of money. As I've explained, I do more than just throw your house on the MLS to compete with hundreds of other houses and then pray that it sells. You're also getting my negotiating skills, which can be the most valuable part of this whole process. If I know that I am more valuable to you than whatever person they just named, what does it say to you if I'm willing to devalue myself just to make a sale? Lucky for you, I can see the value in your house as well, and I will negotiate what it's worth. You are now making the connection between you standing on your value and not moving, and you now are going to do the same thing with their house, and you're not going to move because you know the value in their own house as well. Once you say those lines that I just created, you are going to close again, and you're going to go right back into your close. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is there anything else that's keeping you from making the right decision and hiring me to start marketing your home to get it sold so you can insert the pressure point? Get closer to your grandkids, get out of here before it gets too cold, get whatever happens. You close, and then if they come up with another objection, you answer it, and then you close. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, so is there anything else? You answer their objection, and then you close again. You answer their objection, and then you close, but you close over and over again, because if you walk out of that house without them signing an agreement, your odds at getting that listing just dropped drastically, okay? Guys, I'm gonna do something really quick here, and then I'm gonna answer a lot of your calls, and then I'm gonna give you some more free stuff, okay? What you just experienced right now was basically like a coaching call, okay? This is what we do for thousands of people all over the place, okay? Is we teach you exactly what to say, when to say it, how to do it, the strategies to follow, all of these things that make a lot of people a lot of money, okay? If you're on here right now and you are not in any of our coaching programs, I don't know how to be any more clear about it other than the fact that you need to be. It's going to make you more money. We have grown at the rate that we have because it works. But we have 2 levels of coaching so that everybody can be involved, okay? We're doing a thing today. The first 100 people are going to get special deals on both of these. We have something called virtual coaching, and then we have something that we call one-on-one coaching, which is what most of you understand, okay? Virtual coaching is usually $59 a month or $5.99 for the year. We're making an offer right now for the first 100 people to get it for $49 a month or $4.99 for the whole year. Okay, so basically it's like 2 months free if you pay for the year up front. What virtual coaching is, it was designed, I was raised by a single mother in the real estate business that probably needed coaching but couldn't afford it. And so I created virtual coaching for people who really needed one-on-one coaching but couldn't afford it yet. It's the gateway drug to get into one-on-one. What virtual coaching is it gives you access to our members-only dashboard with all of our scripts, all of our campaigns, videos of me explaining what to do, the templates to follow it, and then I or one of our coaches, usually myself, do a weekly broadcast live every single week, Monday at noon Eastern. If you can't be on it live, it's recorded, it's available all week, and I cover a different topic, a coaching call, every single week. If you think you're not gonna watch that and make more money, you're crazy. Like that's what, last week I covered what are 3 or 4 things you could be doing to make transactions right now without spending any money. Okay, I covered that. Now there are ways to spend money and make transactions too. We cover those kinds of things as well, okay? So for the first 100 people that wanna get into our virtual, you're only gonna pay $49 a month. I'm gonna give something else away free too, so hang with me. You're only gonna pay $49 a month or $4.99 for the year, for the whole year. And it's an incredible value. It's less than most of you spend on coffee every single month, okay? And yet the amount of we hear from people, students who are in the program all the time about how they feel like they're ripping me off because of what they get for that cost, okay? If you're watching this right now, you need to be in some form. The people who do the best in our industry all over North America have a coach, okay? So if you're not ready for one-on-one yet, you need to get in virtual. $49 a month, $4.99 for the year. If you, and again, that's the special promo price for the first 100. I can see that things are selling already. For those of you that are at a different level and you want to commit on a different level and really invest in yourself and get that one-on-one coaching, where we go through your budget. We have sheets that we use to keep complete track of your business and really get you to start running your business like a business, help you create the systems and processes in your business that create the predictable revenue flow, that eventually create a saleable asset, and have a one-on-one coach specifically assigned to you. I personally, for all of you, when you go to this thing on the side, the promo, where you pick the virtual or you pick the one-on-one, if you sign up for a one-on-one consultation, that's all you're doing is signing up for a consult. I'm personally going to do the consult with you, okay? We're gonna talk about your business, we're gonna talk about our coaching, and we're gonna see if it's a good fit. If it is, let's do it. It starts at $4.99 a month and goes up from there depending on the program you go with. But it is, again, an amazing value for what it can do for your business, and all of you belong in one or the other. Okay, some of you belong in the one-on-one. For those of you who can't afford the one-on-one right now, at minimum, you need to be in the virtual. Because if you watched this last hour and didn't get any value from me or didn't learn something about the listing process that's going to make you more money, then don't be in the coaching. But if you did, this was one level, one layer of your real estate business, which is listing presentations. That is one of the smallest things within there's so many different areas of your business you could be getting better at, you could be applying systems to, you could be applying processes to, that we want to help you with. I do these kinds of calls all the time. We do them with our virtual people. By the way, if you're in the one-on-one coaching, if you sign up for virtual tonight, but then you also sign up for a one-on-one consult, if you end up signing up for one-on-one coaching, we're gonna refund your virtual just so you could get the deal. Some people were doing that earlier. We're gonna refund the virtual, but then you're still going to be in the virtual coaching even though you signed up for the one-on-one, okay? So you get both of those options, okay? I want to start getting into some questions, and also what I'm going to do, by the way, so we did the first 100 on this one that reply and buy you the virtual or the one-on-one. By the way, for the first 20 that actually sign up for one-on-one coaching, they do the consult and they sign up, you're going to get $100 off your first month. And between one-on-one coaching and the virtual people, the first 100 that sign up on this call, we're going to draw a name. And I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but we're going to do something special for that person. Maybe we're going to give them, I think we've talked about a 30-minute call with me to go over anything you want. We can talk about your business. We can talk about your life. We can talk football cards if you want. I don't really care, but we're going to do that, okay? So let's get to some questions. I see here that these are selling, which is fantastic. We're getting a lot of people on that. Yes, personal coaching starts one-on-one at $499 a month. The virtual is usually $59 or $599 for the year, $59 a month or $599 for the year. If you use the link that I put up over there, it's only going to be $49 a month or $499 for the year. If you pay for the year up front, it's like getting 2 months free, okay? All right, let me see what kind of questions we have here. I'm going to answer, guys. Like I said to you before, my goal when I get on these is to give you as much value as possible. Please don't make the mistake of thinking that because we offer you our coaching that we're just here to sales pitch you. People join our coaching because it makes them more money. People join our coaching because it helps them. But regardless of whether you sign up for coaching or not, I'm giving you value right now. What you just learned the last hour is going to drastically help you. Me answering these questions in a minute, hopefully is going to drastically help you. Rachel, do I need to go, how far back do I need to go in the questions? There's a lot of questions here. Okay, so I keep getting requests for the scripts. So guys, again, here's what I need. Go to my personal profile. I'm going to have it up there. Just go and follow me on my personal profile, facebook.com/Jared James today. You can also go and like the fan page, facebook.com/Jared James Enterprises. I will post the scripts in those two places. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way we can email something out. Maybe I'll come up with something over the next couple of days, but I don't want to promise it. But I am trying in my head to think of like some way I can structure an actual manual for you guys to be looking at, because I think that would be helpful for everybody, okay? I can't wait to get off of here and see if a lot of you went to that connectwithjared.com, how many pictures were posted. If you got on here late, take a picture of you watching this right now with me. Do like a selfie and then tag me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat. If you're not on Snapchat, at Jared James Today. Every single one of you that do that, I'm going to respond to you personally. I don't care how late it takes me. I'm going to do that, okay? So yeah, that's where we can get those notes. I'll put them up either tonight or probably tomorrow, okay? Your presentation, quite frankly, is usually gonna go about 30 minutes, okay? If it needs to go longer, it's because of the seller. I just saw that question come in. But remember, I went like 45, 50 minutes just covering content because I took like 10 minutes to wait for everybody to get on. And that was me covering what to do in the pre-call, what to do on the call, what to do. That was before we even got to the house, okay? What else here? Yes, great question. Jerry, I'm already in virtual coaching. I appreciate you offering the cheaper method. You must be paying $59 or $5.99. Jerry, I will give you the price. Email us. Rachel, you heard me say that. Adjust that person going forward now. Give them a lower price. No problem, Jerry. Absolutely. I'm with you. The fact, I believe all the time that a closed mouth doesn't get fed. The fact that you asked, I'm going to do it, okay? Shirley wrote, Donna rocks. Donna is your coach. Donna is the director of coaching as well. I'm so glad to hear that, guys. Thank you so much. How much time per month does coaching happen? Once, 1 hour, what? If you're talking about one-on-one coaching, it depends on the program that you sign up for. It's a minimum of 2 video calls a month with your coach, up to 4 video calls a month with your coach. Even if you're on a program where you're doing 2 video calls a month with your coach, they're still touching base every single week, okay? If you have questions like that, quite frankly, if I were you, go fill out the free consult. You're gonna get on a video call with me, and I'll answer all your questions, go over everything, and there's absolutely no pressure on that. If you decide that it's not for you or we decide it's not a perfect fit for you, there's no pressure at all, but I would recommend doing a consult if you have those kind of questions because there's no obligation in those, okay? All that we ask is that if you're gonna get on the phone or get on a video call with me that you actually have an intent to think about it and you have the financial ability to do it, so we're not just taking a bunch of my time for somebody who just wanted to chat and, you know, whatever. How do we get the video again that shows us how to target buyers on Facebook to bring the listings? There's 2 ways you can do that, Marissa. Number one, the easiest way, quite frankly, is, and Rachel post this, is to go to my YouTube channel. So if you go to connectwithjared.com, just click on my YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. It's youtube.com/Jared James Today. I did a video, I think it's like a 3rd, 4th, 5th video in right now. It's called how to create leads on Facebook and Instagram, how to create real estate leads on Facebook, Instagram, something like that. You can go watch that and it shows you exactly how to do it, okay? Let's see here. Is there any way I can still be a part of the drawing too? Jerry, absolutely. We will 100% put you in that. So absolutely. I already, in my mind, already figured that I was gonna do that just because I feel like it's the right thing to do. If you're on here and you're already you know, a person, just send me a Snap or a Facebook or something. We'll make sure that you're included on that, okay? Thank you, this was great. I will ask Donna for your notes. Chris, Jared, if you were a new person, how would you handle the newbie questions? How many houses have you sold? How long have you been doing this? These seem really young, etc. Okay, Chris, that is a great question. And I want you to understand that one of the reasons why I'm focusing so much on process is because the processes I'm following have nothing to do with what age I am or the experience level that I have. If you noticed, I didn't cover one thing that had anything to do with my track record in the area. It was all about the process of what I'm gonna do for you going forward, okay? When Zillow came on the scene 4 years ago or whatever it was, it had never had one visitor and all of a sudden they were 25 million visits every single month, unique, right? It didn't matter what happened in the past. What matters is your ability to understand the new world, that it's 2016 and the internet has changed the game because that's where people are searching, and that the majority of your counterparts have no idea how to leverage that or how to work that. And so that's why we're focusing, if you notice what I did, we're focusing solely on the process that anyone could follow, but you actually know how. We weren't focusing on, I have 25 years experience. Now, if you have 25 years experience, make that something that you talk about and make that something that is a strong point in what you do. But if not, everything I just taught you had nothing to do with how long you've been in the industry, okay? And I did that on purpose. What else? No makeup, no picture. I love it. Post the link for the virtual coaching. Guys, it's right off to the side. In fact, if you don't see the link, you can actually, in fact, let me see if I can do this. If you go to, where can I do this? Hold on, guys. I'm going to make this so it's available to you. It is www.today.com/offers. Okay, I'm making it a sticky message. If you go to jaredjamestoday.com/offers, OFFERS, that's where you can find it, okay? But it also should be over in your offers on the right-hand side. You just click on that thing where it shows the coaching and it says choose your option. And we're running low, guys. We're down to 23, it looks like. First 100 are going to get the special deals that we talked about, okay? So get over there. Don't wait. I mean, guys, for what you just learned the last hour, are you seriously thinking if you don't join our virtual or our one-on-one, you're not going to make a lot more money? I was #1 in the country, not because I change into a cape and a phone booth every single morning. And by the way, I was really young when I was doing it, back to your question, Chris. But it's because I followed a process and I knew the ingredients that it took to create a very successful real estate business, and that's what we want to help you do, okay? Guys, we have students on here who are posting in the chat how well they do as a result of our coaching. Those aren't like fake people. There's too many here for that to be, for that not to be real, okay? Let me get to more of your questions here. Excuse me, guys, for keep itching my nose and whatever. I've got allergies really bad right now. Let's see what else we have here. Here it is, YouTube, yep. Guys, by the way, I love it, guys. You've got a lot of you are following on Instagram. Again, Instagram, I'm at Jared James Today. Twitter, I'm at Jared James Today. If you're not, guys, get on Snapchat. You're going to get on now or you're going to get on in 12 months. I'm just telling you right now. You might as well get on now. You want the most clearest version of what I do behind the scenes, get on Snapchat and follow me, at Jared James Today. I show you every part of my life. It's pretty cool stuff. Is there a long-term contract for the virtual coaching? Will, no. If you go monthly, it's strictly monthly. If you think it stinks, you can cancel. The reason why we give you the option of paying for the year up front is because you get like 2 months free when you do that. It's the equivalent of only paying for like 10 months. But I'm telling you, it's the best value in the real estate industry. But I'm not lying to you when I say it's meant to be a gateway drug to get you into one-on-one, because we know what's going to happen when we get you into one-on-one, okay? At least I took my selfie. Do I post on my Facebook page and tag Jared James? You can do it that way, absolutely, or just post it on my profile. It's up to you. Either way, either tag me or just throw it up there. How do you handle a divorced couple who can't be in the same room? Okay, so that is a great question. And by the way, I've dealt with these situations many times, almost in the same way that I told you before that you can't make an unmotivated seller motivated. Sometimes you have irrational sellers that you can't be rational with. Sometimes their level of hatred for each other, their level of discourse, when you're in the middle of that situation, and I know this is not the answer you want to hear, but again, I've done this, I've worked in this industry, so I know how this works. Sometimes there's nothing you can do, because the fact that one of them picked you means the fact that the other one is going to find a reason why you're not going to work and they're not going to let you sell the house, because in their mind, that's their soon-to-be ex-spouse winning. They got to pick the person who listed the home. So in my experience, you can try to play good, play both sides, get in with both of them, and you can do all that kind of stuff. But in my experience, in many cases when you're dealing with that kind of a situation, there's no fix. When two grown-ups now hate each other and it looks like you're on one side or the other, they're gonna want you out, okay? I'm sorry, but it's the God's honest truth. Jared, I didn't make it till about 15 minutes ago and I missed the beginning. Did you talk about a pre-listing drop-off? I did talk about what to do, all that stuff. So this will be recorded and we'll get it out to you, okay, Alex? Thank you so much. Julie, thanks for being on here. I missed the first 20 minutes. Is there a repeat? Yeah, we're going to try to, as long as this works, we're going to try to send out the replay of this probably in the next couple of days, okay? What I'll ask from you guys is that if you really enjoyed this, please try to get out to other people that need to hear it, okay? I am on like a mission this year to get in front of people who have never heard of me before, okay? That's like a thing that I'm trying to do, okay? Where do you find the information to supply the target people for their home? That's on the Facebook thing, Robda. That was go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jared James Today. I have a video on there that is called How to Create Leads on Facebook and Instagram, where I walk you step by step how to do that, okay? So just subscribe to that YouTube channel. It's free information. Go watch that, okay? Snapchat is where it's at, no doubt about it. Hoping for good scripts. You talk very fast. Yeah, that's why. To be honest, because I knew I had a limited time here, Mickey. So that's why we're going to put those scripts out there for you. I'm going to find a way to make them succinct so that you can get everything you need, but that's why I was talking fast. How soon will my registration be confirmed? Colette, I'm not sure what you mean in regards to what. If you signed up for virtual, within minutes you'll get an email. If you signed up for one-on-one consultation, you'll get contacted by my office shortly to set up a consult. Yeah, I'm in the Hispanic market. Do you think the process applies equally to different cultures? Absolutely. Psychologically, same thing, just different language. Absolutely. Do I want to go into this? Shirley, I'll catch you offline. You asked how do you work an expired listing. I absolutely have an answer for that. Just don't want to do it now. I'll hit you offline with that. I think I actually have a video I can send you where I talk about exactly how to do that. Michelle, thanks, Jared. Alex, got you. Thanks, Jared. As always, tons of value. I feel like I have to replay this 5 times to get the full value. That's awesome, Damaris. Thank you. Again, guys, get into coaching. I can't stress it enough. Like, it's going to help you. I mean, the virtual is so cheap. The one-on-one is such a value. We've taken people who were doing, couldn't hit 100,000 for 8, 9, 10 years, and they make 250, 300,000, 400,000 the next year because it's about doing the right things. It's about getting the right lines in the water and about knowing what creates leads, how to convert those leads, because we're in a different world right now. We used to live in a world where it was okay to get in front of people when they were ready to buy and sell. Now we have to get in front of people when they're ready to learn, because they're on a 6 to 18-month process before they're selling, before they're buying, but they're starting online. Many of you need coaching to help you with this. By the way, when you're in the coaching, whether it's one-on-one or virtual, you all have access to me. You have access to our coaches. It's a wealth of information for you, a wealth of knowledge for you to really take advantage of, okay? Looks like we're getting down here. We're down to 4 left, guys. Sign up for the virtual coaching or sign up for the I'd like to know about the expired listings. You know what, guys? You guys should be in our database. I'll do a thing on expired listings. I'll shoot a video or something. Rachel, remind me of that. I'll shoot a video and I'll send it out, okay? Can you have individual coaching? I work with BHHS Nevada, and we have coaching available at our Success Center. Would like to use it on my own? Absolutely. At least that's what we do. Sign up for a one-on-one consult. We work with a lot of people who their local places offer coaching. They just prefer to use ours because, quite frankly, I think it's better. So yeah, sign up for a consult. Let's do it. Awesome webinar. Thanks, Jared. Hey, Jared, I sent an email to Lily Polk today to get you back to Virginia. Had fun in Dallas. You were the best speaker. Christy, thank you so much. That means the world to me. I'd love to come back to Virginia. The dates work. I would love to. I watched this twice today. Looking forward to the replay. That's awesome. I would love the expired listing. Okay, that's another expired. Rachel, we got to shoot a video. We'll do expireds and FSBOs, okay? Interested in your coaching, but how it changed for us agents in Canada with some of our systems being different. Lori, we have a ton of clients in Canada. We can adjust easily. There's some differences as far as targeting wise, not with Facebook, but with when you're doing like mailings and those kinds of things. We have a ton of people in Canada. It's not difficult at all. It's the same kind of coaching. We just adjust a couple things. No big deal. We have a ton of people there. Loved your webinar last week with ERA, and this was amazing. Thank you so much for your time and expertise. Hope I'll see you at the ERA event. I'll be in Disney at the ERA International Convention at the end of this month, right, Rachel? End of this month? Yeah, I'll be there with you guys. Thanks, Jared. Can't wait. Please send the expired stuff. I'll send it out to the database. Please send the video. You guys want that video. Message you a selfie on Facebook. All right, I'll get to it. I'll be signing up, but don't have access to my credit card just yet. How long will I have access to the discounted price? That's a toughie. If you're going to be there tonight or tomorrow, just go to what we told you before, which was at jaredjamestoday.com/offers. We'll probably pull it at some point soon, but just go to that link, jaredjamestoday.com/offers. I'll write you a testimonial for your one-on-one is worth it. Shirley, thank you so much. You're one of our one-on-one students. Appreciate that so much. Woohoo, FSBOs. Do you ever get to the ENW? What does that mean, ENW? Carol, let me know what you mean by do you ever get to the ENW? Guys, by the way, I'm going to stay on here as long as you want me to and answer questions for you. So if you have to go, I don't want you to feel pressure, but I want to answer people's questions as well, okay? FSBOs and expired's way excited. All right, we got to shoot that. Carol, let me know what you mean by do you ever get to the ENW? Okay. Thanks so much. Dallas was excellent. I had a blast with you guys in Dallas, Valen. That was cool, too. They had the fire marshal there. We packed out the room. They brought in more chairs. We couldn't let anybody else in. That was not bad for the ego. I'm not going to lie. I remember going to those events and, like, telling the 4 people in the room if you could come up front, you know, and then to have it packed like that and have to bring in chairs and the fire marshal shuts it down for both of my sessions. That was badass. That was so cool. I love that. Please include me to receive the expired and FSBO. No problem. Rachel, to the Northwest. Oh, yeah. Do I get to the Northwest? Absolutely. I used to live in Washington State, by the way. I haven't been up in the Northwest recently, though. Get me there. Like, whatever state you're in. Get your company. Get your association. Get your whatever. I'd love to come. As I said, I grew up in Washington State. Thanks so much for the info. Great, whatever. How are you dealing with Matterport? I don't do a lot with Matterport, Tanya. I know about them. Good company. I just don't do a lot with them. Who's including me in the FISBO, whatever. You doing any classes in Vegas soon? Deborah, I'm in Vegas all the time, I feel like. I don't feel like I have anything coming up, though. We did a mastermind there. I've done a couple events there. I was almost there for Remax, but I wasn't. But no, I haven't lately. Who do I follow? What do I follow you on Snapchat? I think you mean how. I'm at Jared James Today. So go on Snapchat and search at Jared James Today. All one word, okay? Was in Dallas too. Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys, it looks like we're coming to a close with these right now, which is really cool. Waiting for the new mastermind date. Shirley, we are actually thinking about it. We had a good turnout in San Antonio. The mastermind was amazing in San Antonio. For those of you who don't know, we do a mastermind with myself and one of our coaches. It's $5,000 a piece. We put 6 to 10 people in a suite, 2 days, computer open, and we just go higher level, set your business up, systems, processes, whatever. And it's amazing. We did it in San Antonio. I mean, one of our students there who was there wrote in our group that she picked up like 5, 6, or 7 listings within a couple days based off of something we showed her to do. She was like, I can't even believe this. Do you have to be a coaching student to go to a Vegas mastermind? No, you do not. You just have to, do a consult with me, and I've got to decide that, it's somebody, you're worth somebody coming, meaning that you can apply what it is that we're going to teach, and it's a good fit. Thank you, Jared. Any classes in Los Angeles? I was just in Los Angeles, Siobhan. Siobhan, follow me on the social places, and you'll see when I'm in Los Angeles again. I do try to get there, a few times a year. Is it at or at today? It's at, like the at symbol like you have there, Jared James Today, Jared James Today. Put in the chat there, at Jared James Today. Rachel, when do you think we'll be receiving the email with the webinar replay? In the next couple of days, okay? Within the next couple of days, we'll get it out, okay? God, to those of you that are still on here, which there are a lot of you still on here, holy crap. Big kudos to you guys. I'm going to start closing it up here. I hope a lot of you joined coaching and did that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not getting rich on your coaching. We make plenty of money here, whatever, but I'm telling you it's going to help you. We truly believe in our motto that we not only make it easier for you to succeed, but harder to fail. And we genuinely care about what happens. By the way, guys, make sure you're in our Facebook group where there's a lot of, help that goes on there too. Just put Jared James Coaching, or Rachel put the link up. You can join. It's a members only, but we'll accept it if you're a realtor into our Jared James Coaching Facebook group. Let people share referrals, people share ideas, people help each other out. It's a great thing for you to be a part of. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for being on here tonight. I hope you got a lot of value. Thank you for your time, Jared. It was very helpful. Thank you so much. Always walk away feeling as though I'm better prepared. Thank you so much, guys. It really means a lot to me that so many of you showed up. We set record numbers today, which, wow, is so cool. I appreciate each and every one of you. I can't wait to be connected with all of you. Again, go to connectwithjared.com, connectwithjared.com. Connect with me on all the social sites, guys. I love staying connected with you guys. I love writing back and forth. I write back to every single person that writes me. Appreciate it greatly. Hopefully I'll see you on the road soon. If you're a part of any associations or boards or companies that hire, let's see if the dates are available. I'd love to come work with you guys, okay? Have a great night, guys. I'm going to get some work done here. It's probably going to be a late night for me. I hope that what you've learned today is going to make you some money in the coming weeks, months, years as we go along, okay? Guys, thank you so much. Have a great night.